What I want to talk to you about is the impact that AI generated content is making on YouTube, both for viewers and creators. And if you're new to my channel, you should know that I am a woodworking professional. I specialize in railings on stairs and also staircases and that kind of stuff. So it's fairly intricate work, and it takes a lot to create a really good job. And I have to take my time and set up cameras, sometimes even employ a camera person to video what I'm doing so that I can bring a video to my viewers that they're going to learn from. So as a viewer of YouTube, I watch a lot of YouTube videos on carpentry and woodworking and other things as well. And it's become very obvious to me that AI content is slowly sneaking and creeping into the maker genre of videos. And you should be aware of that, because what it does, in my view, is that it takes away the requirement to be creative and the requirement to be skilled both in filming and woodworking. And in fact, you can watch videos and you'll see things that don't make sense, and there's a reason for that. There's a number of creators, a number of channels that are using AI content both to narrate, so they can get somebody with a real good voice, and the narrative is flawless. And if you watch my videos, you'll know my narrative is not flawless, but what you're seeing is me, and what you're seeing is my video, not something made by a robot. Yeah, so if you're oblivious to the fact that AI generated content is on YouTube, here's the things to watch for. Narration that is flawless, but there's no ums or ahs and all that sort of thing. That could be AI generated narration. So all you have to do as a creator is write a script, and AI will dictate that script for you, and it'll sound great. The other thing that happens is that AI generated footage is exactly what AI means. It is artificial intelligence. And this is where things get really important for viewers of YouTube, so that, if you're watching what you're hoping is a professional grade woodworking video, you want to see the authentic professional doing the work, not the robot. And one of the things I've picked up on, for example, I watched a video that was a tool review, and it was talking about routers. And if you're a woodworker, you'll know that this is a router. But in fact, what the video showed was a router that looked like this, which is a router for putting your signal, your internet signal, to your television or your computer. The other thing I picked up on was a hunting video, and that talked about certain cartridges, and it showed a cartridge like this flying through the air, just like this. So if you know anything about hunting, you'll know that the entire cartridge doesn't fly through the air. It's simply just the bullet, not the entire cartridge. So that's how you can pick up on things that are artificial. I did a little survey on my community page, and my viewers, just so you know, the demographics of my viewers are mostly from 45 years old to 65 years old, kind of in the same age bracket that I am, although I'm a little bit towards the top end. And you know what? I got zero positive feedback from woodworking viewers on AI. They all felt it was trash. Here's a comment. I'll go through some of the better ones. I try my best not to view AI content. They're like cockroaches just sneaking in. Here's another one. It's terrible. Complete warp of all that is real. Trash. Hate it. And on and on and on. Some of them I can't repeat because there's 4-letter words. That's not appropriate for YouTube, and I generally don't use that kind of language. Another one, YouTube should take all this AI crap down. Here's one of my favorites. I'd like to see AI drive 6 hours to cut a newel post 3 inches too short. Too funny. But anyway, you'll get the drift of people's frustrations. I suppose the benefits of AI in some kind of productions is to create interesting little clips that support the narrative, unless it's footage that shows a creator actually chiseling something or milling something or building something that really didn't happen. It was only created by a robot. There are a number of other YouTubers that are really upset about this. There's also the potential for fraudulent videos. In other words, you'll see, for example, a popular singer doing a worship song, a Christian worship song, and you'll sit back and say, I didn't know they were believers, and so on and so forth. Well, in fact, if you look into the description, there is a disclaimer that that individual, that pop star, had nothing to do with the creation of this video. So what does that say? It means that you have to use a lot of discernment when you're watching things to know what's real and what's not. You may have seen a video of a guy sitting in an easy chair on a deck, and a black bear comes up on the deck and licks his face. Now, whoever filmed that video was really negligent and not scaring the bear off, for example. Who knows whether that was a camera on the side of the house or whatnot, but there's all kinds of that content out there that is totally bogus that people are perceiving as things that really happened. So I mentioned fraud. There's a good video by our Blacktail Studio. The creator, whose name is Cam, was copied by somebody that was a crook and basically made a fake website, and also got some poor customer to pony up $17,000 for making a table, which he never knew about. So in other words, it was a fraudster scooping people for that amount of money to build something, and they weren't even dealing with the real creator. So I'll put a link to that video as well, and you can take a look at that. So there was a lot of negative things going on with YouTube creation. For myself, I don't use it. In fact, there's a disclaimer I have to make when I upload a video to prove that I'm not using any AI generated content. The folks that have channels that are trying to help YouTube creators in creating better videos are actually encouraging creators to incorporate AI into their videos, and I just won't do it. The purpose of my YouTube channel is to teach people specific high-end professional techniques for doing work. And in fact, the videos I watch mostly are all professional woodworkers. For example, Bradshaw Joinery, Andy Rawls, who makes beautiful furniture in Texas, Padula Studios, another one is Essential Craftsman, and they're coming from a place of they're professional woodworkers. They've done it for many, many years, sometimes decades, and they want to pass on their knowledge. They don't have time to make flashy thumbnails that will make you think that this video is better than it really is. And you'll click on it because it looks so awesome. You'll see thumbnails that are suggesting that you got to watch to the end to get the real message. Well, that is manipulation. I'm sure you've seen a video that has a title, and when you watch the whole video, it really wasn't about that. That was just to get you to click on to that video. So for people like me that do it strictly to pass on my knowledge to people, as I feel that that's important in our generation right now, where we are as a society, to pass on skills and knowledge to the younger generation so that they can grow in their knowledge and actually make a living doing the trades. Because there's a huge deficit in the amount of people that are pursuing trades for a career, and that's really not a good thing for our society. So what is the driving force behind this AI generated trend? First of all, as I mentioned before, it's artificial intelligence. So you don't actually have to have the wisdom or intelligence on a certain craft. All you need to do is know how to use a computer. That's not what we want. We want legitimate teaching, legitimate skills, and not artificial. Anybody that's involved in creating videos enjoys making a little bit of income from the videos. So the flashier they are, the more clicks they get, the more views they get, the more money they make. So here lies the problem. As the good book says, the root of all evil is the love of money. Not money itself, but the love of money. So people are motivated by making financial gain, and therefore that's why they make fraudulent content. Now, that is the impetus for anybody that's involved in crime or deception or that sort of thing. And just so you know, there's also a misconception out there that YouTubers make a huge amount of money. Now, I've been doing this for 5 years. Many of my viewers will enjoy the videos I do, but you're only seeing the videos that get the most views. There's lots of videos on my channel that don't get any views, and the videos are really good, I think anyway. But they're not flashy enough, or they're not hitting the algorithm. And this is another issue, is that we've become slaves to the algorithm in all areas of, anything to do with the internet. So to clarify, like I said, I've been doing this for 5 years. I've got 11,000 subscribers at the time of this video. And the biggest check I've ever got from YouTube is $500 for a month, and that's in Canadian, so it's about 300 US. So that means that all this time and effort I put into YouTube, I can buy 3 tanks of gas a month on that income. I drive a 3/4 ton Chev Silverado, so you'll know what gas costs do with that kind of vehicle. I could actually get a paper route, a job delivering newspapers, and make more money than I do on YouTube. I could go hang 1 door a month and make more money than I do on YouTube. So please use your discernment on the channels you watch. And I would suggest, if you don't like AI generated content, there's a button you can select on YouTube that says, don't show me this type of video, don't show me this channel. And please don't see this as me trying to get one up on other channels that are different than mine. I'm just saying what's reality for me and what's reality for you as a viewer is really important, and we need to stay on top of this, and you need to express your views and be very discerning on what you believe that you see online. So just a little rant here. This video may not get hardly any views, so it may be immaterial, but I just wanted you to know what's going on and make a wise decision. So take care. We'll see you on the next video.